Who is the best guest of all time? How are we going to celebrate my birthday? And what are my favorite guest interviews? Well, I talk about all that and more on this episode of the Toddcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Toddcast. As always, I am your host, Todd McManus. And yes, of course, not today, not the day this episode comes out, but of course this past week, actually yesterday, as if you're listening to this episode on the day it comes out, on September 22nd, was my birthday. So I want to thank everybody for any birthday wishes. And if you're listening to this episode because of my birthday, I appreciate it very much. And since it's my birthday, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna not do an episode. I'm gonna take a look back on this episode to two of my favorite all-time conversations. These are my picks for two of the best conversations and interviews that I have ever had with guests throughout the history of the Toddcast, the almost 200 episode history, because this is episode 194. And we're just going to take a look back at two of my favorite conversations. And this is how we're just going to celebrate my birthday. So I appreciate everybody listening for that. And yes, I am now 24 years old. The big 24. Getting ever so closer to not caring how old I am and what birthday it is now. Getting closer to that. So with all that being said, I appreciate everybody for the birthday wishes, like I said before. And these are two hilarious and just like two very funny that I always think about. And these are top two conversations that I recommend. And go listen to the full episodes as well. And as always, I will see y'all in the next episode. But for now, let's take a look back at two of my favorite conversations with past guests. I have a question for you.
Okay.
Now, this question...
I didn't take your money. Is that what the question?
Okay. That was my question.
Okay.
So, no. So, I saw this article a couple weeks ago, like a month ago probably. And it asked this question, and some people were saying yes, some people were saying no. It's a yes or no question, of course. And I wanted to see what you thought about it, so I've saved it so I could ask you.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you a scenario.
Okay.
So with each day, of course, we're getting closer and closer with people getting to Mars.
Mm-hmm.
Elon Musk, of course.
Yeah,
he's going to probably get us there.
He's going to get us there.
He's definitely going to get us there. If it comes to the point where we send a crew of people to Mars, and let's say they get stuck, they can't get home, whatever, and something happens to where they're stuck and stranded on Mars. If it comes down to it, should we allow Mars astronauts to eat dead fellow astronauts to survive?
You just threw that right on me, didn't you? Let's see.
If somebody dies, I'm not saying kill each other to eat.
Yeah.
If somebody happens to get killed, an astronaut, a fellow astronaut, do you want the other astronauts to die of starvation, knowing they could eat that other person and quite possibly live when like a rescue team could show up, like another rocket could bring them back home, or let them eat that astronaut, that way they can get back home. So even though it would be cannibalism, which would be on another planet, and there's no laws on Mars yet.
Yeah.
It's an ethical question too. Do you believe we should allow astronauts to eat another dead astronaut so they won't die of starvation?
Well, first you got to think about... All right, first, don't... Hang on. I got to think... Hang on.
It's a hard question.
If the solution, if to get to that point you have to kill the person, then no.
No, what if if they crashed the ship somehow and one of them got crushed and was killed?
Okay.
Somehow one of them dies without being killed by another one.
somehow one of them either...
I thought you were just going to say, somehow somebody died without being killed.
Interesting. Well, I mean, not they died without somebody else killing them.
Yeah.
They either died of heart attack, something else besides being stabbed or broke a neck or something, or fought or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well,
the other thing I was going to say, if they get to Mars and there's this insane looking parasite that kills them, I'm not going to eat something that has a parasite in it.
That's out of the question.
Yeah, forget that.
If
I'm going to say, go for it. I'm not going to lie. That's terrible to think about, but I mean...
if somebody had a crack in their spacesuit and died of oxygen loss,
yeah.
Should you allow them to eat? Should you allow them to be eaten by the other astronauts? That way they won't die of starvation.
I mean, if they still have food and then they just decide to eat the person instead, then...
you might want to question them.
Yeah, but if they have no other choice and the guy's already there, and
it's we have to eat him now, or we won't make it until rescue shows up for another 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, 2 or 3 days. That's a bit.
Well, you can live off of 2 days is what I would say. Either eat him now, or tomorrow.
You can survive without food for a week.
Yeah.
So, if the ship's coming in 2 days, you're like, okay, we got to eat this person right now. I don't know about that.
But anyway,
it's all circumstantial.
I know it because there's only one specific point that it comes down to that.
Yeah.
Of that, the ship's gonna come, we're gonna get saved, but if we don't eat this guy who's dead, we're not all gonna make it back. And there's 4 people, one of them just happened to die. There's 3 people left. They're gonna eat this other dude, and if they don't, they're all gonna die.
See, the real question
or be very close to death by the time they get there. Because they would have to get them and then either have some type of medical bay on that other ship. If they don't, they're not making it back to Earth.
Yeah.
They would have to have food and water on the next ship.
See, the real question is, what do you season a person with?
I think enough salt would do it.
Just salt?
Yeah. Well, I don't think they're packing the Tonys or anything to go to Mars.
Come on. Well, then I don't want to go to Mars. If Tony's isn't a necessity on the ship, I'm not going.
They have this emergency thing that's got the little hammer with the glass behind it. Yeah. It's like an emergency Frank's Red Hot behind it.
Just in case.
Just in case
Bill dies.
I was about to say, just in case Bill kicks the bucket over there, we got the Frank's Red Hot ready.
Oh my gosh.
But it was a good question because I thought of that and I never thought about that before.
What's your opinion?
I would say yes because I did a lot of thinking about it.
I'm going to Google, is cannibalism illegal? I don't even know the answer because that's just weird.
The killing is illegal. I don't think the eating is. But the thing, I looked this up. I did look that up. Cannibalism isn't illegal only if you kill the person.
I'm about to be called by the
FBI,
the government.
I think it was that because you can't, because of course it's illegal to kill somebody. And I think because there was this article that said a guy died. What?
Cannibalism is a consumption of another human's body matter, whether consensual or not. Consensual?
I consent for you to eat my body.
Yeah, you can have my leg. I don't need it anymore.
What a nice person.
In the United States, there are no laws against cannibalism per se, but most, if not all, states have enacted laws that indirectly make it impossible to legally obtain and consume the body matter.
Yeah.
Murder, for instance, is a likely criminal charge.
Well, no doubt.
Regardless of any consent. Why does it keep saying consent?
Look, they gotta make sure you have consent, okay?
So if I tell you, Todd, you can kill me, you're not going to jail. Okay.
Oh, I'm going to die.
Thank you, Cornell Law School, for clearing that up for me. Always have consent when you want to kill somebody.
That's like when you commit a crime. You like walk into a bank and you're like, everybody hands up, give me your money, but I can't kill any of you yet till you say it's okay.
Or you go to the bank, hey, can I take your money? Is that okay?
Do I have consent to have this money?
They're like, no, you can't have it. Oh, darn.
No, dang it.
I'll try next week.
I guess I'll go to B1 next. Oh. Oh, it got hot in here. Oh.
So can I do crack if I have consent?
No, I don't. Well, who's giving you consent? The crack? Is the crack giving you consent? I don't think that's how that works. Yes, I am here. Please smoke this crack. Who's giving you? I don't know who's giving you consent for that kind of stuff. Like, because murder takes 2 people or more. You don't need somebody else to do crack. I mean,
That's a fair point.
Yeah, I don't think.
Todd, you never know where these conversations
I don't know. I'm about to pass out. Oh, so Mars. Oh, we were talking about eating people.
Oh, yeah. Eating people.
I did look that up because there was an article that I found when I looked up, is cannibalism illegal? Because you never think of it. You just think it's, because it's straight up unethical.
Oh, yeah.
Weird. And I would never eat somebody. I mean, unless I'm on Mars, apparently.
Build 100 bridges, but you eat one person, and you're known as a cannibal.
I mean, yes. Like, the article was that about cannibalism being illegal is that somebody, I don't even remember where this was. It's probably like Michigan or something. This guy gave his friend consent to eat his body when he died, but somehow that's illegal.
How do you get to that point in a friendship?
I don't know if this person was going to die.
Todd,
or like,
we're really good friends. You can eat me when I die.
I don't think that's going to be okay with your mom or anybody in your life. Because, like, how can you... Because that was the thing.
The casket, that stops at the waist. They don't see anything below the waist. So you can have my calf muscle.
I'm having just your calf. You got to get the butcher knife. Cut it off. I'm going to get the hot knife.
1,000-degree knife?
Yeah. Oh, Jesus. I thought about it, the Mars thing, because maybe if they think about this, they're going to have to, I feel like they would need to sign like a waiver. Like, as funny as it sounds.
Oh, gosh.
Like, maybe them giving consent for that would be the law-abiding type thing. That way people, because you don't want to eat Bill and then get back home and then there's his family waiting for him and they're like, oh, he didn't make it. Like, Bill didn't make it.
I was hungry, okay?
Like, where's Bill? And then your stomach growls. Like, I don't... Because you would that's what you would have to deal with. It's either all of us are dying or we eat this guy and we can make it. But what are people back home going to think? That we just ate this guy to survive.
Where's Bill? He's probably in my lower intestine right now.
Oh. Well, so yeah, I would.
The thing to take away from this is, eat people
consent
only in the most extreme circumstance, and if you have to do it, make sure you have Tony's
and consent.
Tony's and consent.
That's a great book name.
That might be the title of this episode.
Tony.
Episode 82. Tony's
72.
72. Tony's and Consent.
Hey, welcome everyone. Hello everyone, and welcome to Tony's and Consent. We teach you everything about consent and seasoning. Oh my lord, I gotta write that down. So, I'm burning up. So, there's 76 hot dogs in 10 minutes. That's, of course, the hot dog eating contest on the 4th of July.
Joey Chestnut?
That is Joey Chestnut. He broke that. He breaks his record by like 1 or 2 every year. So it's like he's got like, and they have a different championship belt for him just every year. So he's got like 10 of them now. Wow. Because that's just what he does, because he gets paid thousands of dollars like every time.
I'd hate to see what his toilet looks like.
That's what a lot of them say. It's like after like a few, like 10 or 15 minutes, they just, all of them have to go throw up in the porta potty. Mm-hmm. They got them all ready just for them. There's like mayonnaise, which is nasty. We all hate mayonnaise, don't we?
I like mayonnaise.
No.
You want to break the mayonnaise record?
Jesus.
I don't want to do that.
4 32-ounce bowls in 8 minutes?
Oh my God.
That gives me shivers.
That's like, that's like stuff the devil would do. Like,
it is.
Mayonnaise is not good. It's terrible. You hate mayonnaise, and
with a
you're
passion.
okay with it.
I like it on a hamburger. I don't like it with a spoon.
If I get a Subway sandwich and they put mayonnaise on it and I don't see it, like if I order it online, they put mayonnaise on it, I can sit that Subway sandwich in my seat in my car and I can smell the mayonnaise through the bag, and I know that they fucked it up.
Like, it's
my bad. It
terrible.
pisses me off though. I hate mayonnaise.
Yeah, that's for true.
Wow.
I feel the same, because it's like, even when I don't smell it. I'm not that aware of my mayonnaise.
I have PTSD with mayonnaise, you know.
It's terrible. Like,
it's like smelling death at war.
I'm that way with pickles.
I love pickles.
I don't like
handle pickles.
I don't like either.
No, I might change my answer though. Pickles, I can put away some pickles. Although it gives you mad diarrhea because of all that vinegar, but man, I love pickles.
Just out of this, just jar and all.
It doesn't matter what kind, if it's a whole, if it's a spear, if it's the slices, I'll eat it all.
The thing with pickles is if you take pickles off of a sandwich, it still tastes like pickles.
Yes.
Well, it's got pickle juice on it.
Yes. It
Pickles
taints
will do
everything.
Gosh. I'm not a fan of either one, honestly. What do you think about soft tacos at Taco Bell?
Oh, dear.
They're only good when you put them around the outside of a hard taco.
Oh.
That's for true.
I'm just thinking about the aftermath of eating this competitively.
It's only 53 at 10 minutes.
Oh dear.
Which is very close to breakable for some people, I believe.
I don't think for me. I can eat like 10 soft tacos from Taco Bandito and then I start to die.
Well, there's the thing. You got to compare regular Mexican food, and then there's Taco Bell, which has its own category of bathroom etiquette. You know what I mean?
That's true.
I don't think you could throw those up fast enough, though.
No.
They'd go through you.
Yeah.
That's dangerous. That's next level danger right there.
Have you heard about the gummy bears that cause...
Yeah, sugar-free.
Is that the sugar-free ones?
Yeah. Gummy bears.
They use that
God
sweetener
almighty.
that is also like X-Lax.
Yeah. It's like, if you want extra laxative, go get some sugar-free gummy bears.
Yeah, I watched a guy
do diabetic.
I watched a guy do a stream where that's all he did. He said he's going to eat as many as he can. He wore a diaper for the stream. I'm going to go until I absolutely crap myself.
He probably did.
It was an hour long.
Good Lord.
That is the case for most sugar-free foods, though.
Yeah.
Like any candies, if you eat too much sugar-free, you will sit on the toilet for 3 hours. I've learned.
So how do we feel about baked beans? Just
I
one
can
more
tear off
here.
some baked beans.
I like baked beans.
10 pounds.
Oh.
In 1 minute 45 seconds.
Oh my gosh.
If you weigh 100 pounds and you eat 10 pounds of baked beans, you are 10%. Literally.
No, it's 90 pounds. 90 pounds.
90 pounds, yeah.
Still though.
Sorry.
Still, I'm pretty sure somebody that little may not survive eating 10 pounds of baked
Oh,
beans.
definitely not.
Like being a stick walking around and you just have like a gut and it's just nothing but beans. Just the thought of that, you know.
I'm just imagining, like, you bend down to pick something up with all those beans inside of you, and it just sloshes in your belly, and you're like...
You just hear just sloshing around like just a little, like, sounds like just a bag of just stray beans in like a Walmart bag, you know? Just,
I figured out the strategy. You know those people that get the little tummy tuck things? You just take what they took out and just add it to yourself.
You just have an elongated like stomach and intestines. Just go to the doctor and be like, "Doctor, I need you to elongate."
It's like
my
one of
intestines.
Those, it looks like one of those deflated balloons, and you could just stuff it and blow it up as much as you want to.
Yeah. Like, and then like one more here to wrap it up. Ice cream.
Oh man, that would hurt. You talk about a headache.
Talk about brain and gut.
It would hurt.
1 gallon and 9 ounces in 12 minutes. That's almost doable.
I could break that.
Yeah.
A gallon?
1 gallon, 9 ounces of just straight vanilla in 12 minutes.
Does it specify that it has to be, frozen?
Then it's just a gallon of milk at that point.
Give me like some strawberry, I could probably do that.
I could deal with some chocolate.
I'd get tired of some vanilla.
I would do it with vanilla with M&Ms, but then I might get choked on the M&Ms.
See, the strategy there would be go for Neapolitan. Get a little variety there.
Oh, then you can have Neapolitan puke at the end of it.
It just look like a rainbow coming.
Yeah, just and then you're tasting the rainbow at that point.
You are.
You're tasting something.
It may not be the rainbow. So, I talked about this a little bit beforehand, getting off the food subject. I wanted to ask all of y'all and put y'all in a little bit of a scenario.
Okay.
Now, imagine somebody hires you to be like a contractor and design a escape room.
Okay.
And we've all done escape rooms. Mm-hmm. Now, imagine you're having to do this escape room. The only requirement that this person asks, of course, it has to be an hour time limit, so it has to be doable in less than an hour. If somebody made you do this or hired you to do this, the only requirement they ask is that the escape room has to be themed from a past history catastrophic event. Now, it's a weird question, but I saw this on somebody on YouTube asked this. Now, for example, make an escape room out of the Titanic. Now, towards the end, let's say it hits like 30 minutes on the clock, you're halfway through, water starts filling the room. I'm not saying to the ceiling. I'm saying just into like ankle deep water.
Yeah.
Put you at ease. Yeah. Cold, ice, because they were in the Atlantic. Yeah. So it's like, and they just hit an iceberg and it was like December or whenever that happened.
So does it have to be a natural disaster or catastrophic?
It could range anywhere from Pompeii to the Holocaust.
Okay.
Which is some bad events, and there's so many. It's just, and when you think about it, and I'll ask y'all which one y'all want to pick here in a minute, but it's like Titanic, Hindenburg, Holocaust, Pompeii. You could even get somebody close to Mount St. Helens when that happened. Or we'll just keep it into past catastrophic events, because if you want to do future, you could be like, oh, well, what if Yellowstone blew up? Which would be worldly catastrophic, you know? Or like if the moon was coming at us or something, you know? But like natural and Holocaust type stuff, all that kind of stuff, like what past event would y'all pick for your escape room?
Oh, this is something to think about.
I would, like, honestly, I would go with the Titanic.
Yeah.
Because not only does everybody know about it, but if you put yourself, like, let's put yourself in one of those rooms that people stayed in with their beds, you know?
Yeah. And
then just imagine, like, a horn siren going off. You got to get to the boat or whatever, but it don't matter because it was women and children first, so most of the men died anyway. And then, like, you can't get out of the door, and around 30 to 40 minute time, because the hour time limit, water starts filling the room.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying like all the way up to the head, you got to start swimming. Just ankle deep, ice cold water. I honestly think that would make you start getting it. If they didn't say anything, all of a sudden water started just coming through the door into you, and you're like, oh, something's happening, you know? So like, what are y'all thinking?
I've got mine.
All right.
I think it would be to escape a nuclear bomb.
Ooh, Chernobyl.
Well, that was a nuclear meltdown.
Yeah.
But that's a good idea.
Or
too.
Hiroshima. Like
I was thinking Nagasaki, Hiroshima. When he said that.
So I was thinking that, but more similar to like the Nuke Town sort of thing, with the like So it's like 50s themed, sort of 40s and 50s themed.
Like Black Ops, or even like from that Indiana Jones movie when they did it.
But it's basically a set that they built to drop a bomb on, see what happens
with the mannequins and everything.
Yeah. So I'd say something like that, but it's already been done by Indiana Jones. You know, he got in that fridge and
yeah.
But yeah,
just sit in a fridge for an hour.
Yeah. Or like the main thing could be like, oh, you got to get into the fridge. And I feel like that'd be a pretty fun sort of thing, 40s themed, and
you make it even more and say it's a fridge for one, but you have 4 people. Decide who's going to survive, and the 3 of them have to die in a nuclear explosion.
So my idea, it's based around Hitler, but it's not like you're inside of a concentration camp. All right, so
you're in the attic with Anne.
No, that would be.
Sit there for a long time.
The reason Anne Frank got caught is because she was in an escape room.
Sit down silently for an hour.
She was in an escape room with Jared, and he gave her up.
My idea is based off something my grandmother told me, because she had relatives that fled Germany back in World War II.
Yeah. And
what they did is they were all inside of a building, and it was like a very underground railroad scenario, where there was, like, you would remove the carpet and there's a little floor underneath there.
Yeah.
And they'd have, like, sniffing dogs and all that, and you heard about, they, like, coat steaks and, like, pepper spray and stuff. Have you heard about that? That was one of the tactics that the Jewish people used in those times.
That way they can get the German shepherds to go look at other stuff.
Yeah. What would happen is that they would eat the steak, but at the same time it's got all that pepper spray and junk on it, and it would just mess up their entire senses.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And it worked really effectively, and it didn't kill the dogs, so, I mean, that's a win-win there.
Yeah.
Used to do that in Vietnam, too.
Yeah.
They would take, they had little, like, pepper sprays they would take with dog treats, and they'd throw it out, and the dogs that were chasing, especially like the SOG crews, dogs that were chasing them, they'd get thrown off by those treats, and then they'd eat the pepper spray.
And then they're like, oh!
But yeah, my idea was basically you're on like a little coastal town in Germany, and you hear some knocking on the door in some German words, and then you hear like some gun being cocked, and you're like, oh no, we need to leave now.
Yeah.
And you go through like a little maze, you go like underneath the floor and different things. Or my other idea was Katrina.
Oh.
Basically,
I didn't even think of that. That's more recent than any of them.
Basically like the Titanic idea, but you're just in a regular house.
And it's not...
And you got to get to the top.
Yeah, and it's not a boat sinking. You have a hurricane where it's raining.
You can hear the helicopter, but the helicopter has no idea you're there.
Yeah.
And you have to get
You're trying to get out to the National Guard, kind of. Yeah. And it starts flooding a little bit, and they need to put, like, big fans for, like, the wind, because I know Katrina's wind was terrible.
Yeah.
Like, doing, like, hurricane stuff like that, like... I don't see how you could do like Pompeii or like a volcano or something like that. Really,
just turn the heat up.
Yeah, just ever slowly.
Somebody's outside punching the thermostat.
Just like every minute or so, they do 1 degree more. Just every so, and you're just tortured in there with like 100-degree weather.
I don't think that's legal.
I don't think it is either, because you're basically cooking these people alive.
Yeah.
In like a accidental sauna is what it is. But, like, the thought of that, because people talked about that, and they were like, what would your catastrophic, they said amusement park is what they were doing. Because I was thinking of escape room as like one or a few rooms just to get out,
Yeah.
But, like, a themed itself amusement park, one, it's sad. But it's like, how are you going to get rides themed after one thing, unless you just have, like, catastrophia or something, where it's a catastrophic event amusement park where you got, go on one of those big swinging rides, and it's like, that's the Titanic or something, or it's like, and the ones that drop you from high above, and it's like, that's
I feel like
Hindenburg.
Sued.
Yeah. Well, honestly, yeah, because I mean, if you do the one, what's the one where you're like way at the top and you get a cord connected and you just jump and it just bungees you? Is that bungee jumping?
Yeah.
Do bungee jumping, but it looks like this is gonna be bad.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like you already know where I'm going.
Yeah.
Never forget. You know what I'm just saying.
So,
Dang.
always remember.
George Bush.
So, but just stuff like that, you know, it's like, honestly, in the day and age we live in, I wouldn't be surprised if something like this happens because it's all in it for money. And it's like, oh, Titanic was over 100 years ago. Let's make fun of it.
Now, when you think of, like, when you said amusement park, you made me think of the zombie aspect of it. Because, you know, that's the big thing for a lot of zombie games.
Yeah.
A lot of zombie movies is you go to the amusement park because it's just, like, good place, I guess, to be. Because, you know, in the zombie land, they go up.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
like, the thought of that is just, it'd be something if it actually happened, you know.
Yeah.
So, a question I have for y'all, getting off the Titanic and everything. I heard this question the other day. I think it was on TikTok, actually. Where, out of all of the public restrooms y'all have been to, where is the best and where is the worst? I can go ahead and start you off if you got to think about one or the other or both. The worst bathroom I ever been to was a little place called Cuba, Alabama. I went there. The walls, it looked like an abandoned building. Looked like it was abandoned. The walls were white and black. Not tile, as in like white with like black paint splattered everywhere. Mm-hmm. The toilet itself was stained yellow all over it. Like, you know how sometimes the inside of a toilet gets stained yellow? Mm-hmm. This was like the seat. It was peeling paint off of it and just nasty, you know. And it's like I didn't touch anything. Like, I shouldered the door. Like, that's how I didn't want to touch anything, you know. And I don't really know where the best I've been to. But what do y'all think?
Well, for the worst, mine's more of a traumatizing experience than because it was at a baseball game.
Yeah.
And I was a very small individual at the time. And, you know, it barely made it to the trough. If you get my drift there.
I got you.
And then there were two not-so-little people on either side of me.
Yeah.
And, you know, there was full view. And they were, like, almost eye level. And it was very, very traumatizing to just look left and right. And it was like,
And those troughs at arenas are terrible. I hate them.
And they were, like, I could touch, their elbows were touching my elbows. Well, my shoulders, but.
Yeah.
And it was just,
gross.
It's ingrained in my mind. So mine isn't necessarily that it was a bad
It's a worst
toilet.
experience at a bathroom.
Yeah.
You got an idea?
I think my worst would probably be any bathroom at any bar. Best, now, that one. So I went to a restaurant and it was like it was a Mexican restaurant, but I would say it's kind of like a Torchy's almost, but it wasn't.
Oh, okay.
I want to say it was like Mama Maria's or something like that, and it was in Vicksburg.
Oh, okay.
So it's a themed restaurant, but you don't expect the bathroom to be as themed as it is.
Yeah.
You walk into the bathroom, you open the door, and the bathroom's probably the most themed part of it all.
Yeah.
So the toilet is painted tie-dye, the entire toilet. Inside, outside, everything. Everything's tie-dye.
Interesting.
There was like Jimi Hendrix posters on the wall. I think Stevie Ray Vaughan was also on the wall. Yeah. The mirror, so the outline of the mirror was like, it looked like it was melting.
Yeah.
Like it was cut out and designed to look like that.
Oh my goodness.
It looked awesome. I think the sink, it had one of those like waterfall sort of faucets on it.
Oh, them are nice.
I love those.
Yeah.
And the floor was decorated like the ceiling, and the ceiling like the floor.
Oh.
Yeah, so you walk in, if you're tripping, man, you're
sounds like I'd be tripping if I was on nothing.
Yeah.
Just walking in there.
Any bathroom that when you walk out with a smile and you just go, whoa.
Yeah. It's an experience, and it's a one-person bathroom too. So you're not standing there with like four other dudes, and you're just like, wow.
It's an experience and a private bathroom.
You walk in there and you have your own experience.
Yeah, I would say my favorite. Oh, excuse me. Has to be on my trip to London. So, well, You remember Cars 2 when Mater goes into that Chinese bathroom or Asian bathroom and
yeah.
When a girl starts giggling.
Yeah.
Anyways, but it was one of those. It was like a super high-tech bathroom. Like you press a button and the seat would move up and it would go down.
Oh, yeah, they got them technological toilets.
It had like the Tempur-Pedic settings too. Like the seat would get more like squishy or more like hard.
Yeah.
And it was very interesting. And it desanitizes the entire thing. Like you walk out and you can see steam just coming out of the stall.
Ooh.
And it was just really, really cool. And there was a screen on the door when you close it. It was just super clean and super high tech, and I felt really out of place. I was like, am I supposed to like actually
am I in the wrong restroom?
Am I supposed to put something in this toilet, or is it for decoration?
Yeah, it's like this is the VIP bathroom. As always, please rate and subscribe, and if you're listening on YouTube, please like, comment, and subscribe, and click that bell to get notified when new videos are uploaded. And make sure you follow the Toddcast only on Instagram at @the_Toddcast_ for all your Toddcast social media needs. Make sure you tell your friends and your family, or anybody really, to give it a listen. And thank all of you for listening to this episode. And if you want to know what's going to happen next week, well, I guess you're just going to have to tune in to find out. Only on the Toddcast.